Hello friends, welcome to Mysterious Stories. Friends, Darius McCollen is a 60-year-old man, a one-of-a-kind individual who has been detained hundreds of times for his passion for trains. You're probably wondering how this is possible. Let us know this story. Darius resides in America. He was born in New York, an American city. Darius has always had a strong interest in trains. You may call it passion. In New York, he lived near a train station. Darius spent his childhood observing trains. He would sit for hours watching trains. By the age of 8, Darius had memorized the complete geography of New York's subway network. Friends, when Darius was 11 years old, a boy from his school attacked him with scissors. Darius suffered serious injuries and dropped out of school as a result of the tragedy. Darius used to spend the entire day on New York trains after finishing school. Occasionally, he would stay at home for several days. He used to be absent from school because he was only present on trains. His parents were really concerned about this. They used to keep him in his room and force him to go to school, but it wasn't effective. Including his parents. They even attempted to heal him with psychiatric treatment, but Darius' fixation with trains persisted. Friends, time passed, and in his preoccupation, Darius began befriending workers on New York trains. He began learning from them how to drive trains, repair train tracks, and other such tasks. He was only 15 years old at the time. One day, one of his pals gave him a train driver's uniform. Darius was very happy that day. It was his dream that one day he would drive a train and work here. But friends, this could not happen. Rather, this narrative begins extremely interesting from here. It was the year 1981, when the family of Darius was detained after driving a train from 34th Street to the southern end. Actually, one of his driving pals was unwell, so he drove him on the train in his stead. There was little inspection on New York railroads back then, and Darius drove the train comfortably, but he was caught. Later, it was discovered that Darius' pals, who were train drivers, had driven the train for the first time. He often made it sit in his place while Darius drove the train. Imagine how dangerous it could have been. In New York, a boy drove a train without a license or any expertise. Thousands of people were in risk. Anyway, friends, this was not the first time Darius was arrested. Up until the year 2000, he had been detained 19 times for the same offense. He frequently used to wear the uniform of train workers and conduct some such work, which caused him to be arrested. He'd also entered the train. Darius was stopped at all stops, prompting the police to place posters in New York train stations. Despite this, he refused to stop and was detained again in 2005. The keys of a train were found there. It was an M7 railcar. It's an electric train. Darius was accused of stealing this train and sentenced to 3 years in prison, but he was released 1 year later, in 2008. He was detained again in 1976 after entering a railway station wearing a train worker's uniform. He was also found in possession of tools for removing track debris. After a few months, he was caught again for breaking into a train station. If he had entered the office and became a phone operator, answering passengers' questions and applying for a job in the train network, he might have gotten the job, but he did not take the direct road. He had even trained to drive a train, but he was sad because his route was incorrect. However, in 2010, Darius was caught for the 27th time after breaking into a bus parked at a train station and transporting passengers to another train station. Darius boarded a bus around 6:30 a.m. He entered the bus, the keys were in it, and Darius climbed in the driver's seat and drove away. He was caught after 2 hours. Friends, Darius did not intend to hijack the bus, it was simply his obsession with trains. Along with this, he had developed an obsession with buses. In 2015, he was detained again for stealing a bus. This time, he drove the bus for 2 hours. These endeavors took up a significant portion of Darius' life. As a result, he had already served time in jail. However, in 2018, Darius was convinced that he needed to go to a psychiatric facility for mental health therapy. This individual is still at the Rochester Forensic Psychiatric Hospital.